If you guys are ready, let's try and get this.
Go.
Okay. So, I've got a story. Okay, so if you can, close your eyes, imagine yourself, and you better close your eyes because I'm going to see the footage, so I'm going to know for sure if you close your eyes or not. All right. So imagine yourself. It's 1955. America. Oh, God damn it.
Oh, it was getting spooky.
We haven't gotten to the spooky part yet. Okay.
Okay.
It's 1955. America. Beginning of the Cold War.
I feel like I'm in Metal Gear already.
Yeah.
Okay, don't worry. Okay. It's 1955. It's the beginning of the Cold War. It's America. You're white. Okay.
Okay,
So-
that's good. That's a relief.
All right.
Yep.
So, okay, does that allay your fear? All
Yeah,
right.
you had me going for a
So
second.
you're a traveling salesman walking down a road. Well, no. Sorry. Give me 1 second. The fact that you guys are like laughing in 1955 America shuddering threw me off for a second there. Okay.
It was scary. McCarthyism, dude. It's terrifying.
Oh, that's true.
That's my
That is
name.
true. McCarthyism.
Yeah.
All right. McCarthyism. Okay. Yeah, your name is McCarthyism. Yeah, you're just named after an ideology.
Yeah, where do you think the M comes from?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and see them and
True. All right.
It's from the ism.
It's 1955. It's 3:30 a.m. You're a traveling salesman. You're white. You're in America. It's the middle of the Cold War, the beginning of the Cold War. You're going down this road, and then what do you see? You see 3 figures down the highway. It's Loveland, Ohio. It's cold. One of those figures, about 4 feet tall, looks back at you. And then, as it pulls out a small rod from its hand, and sparklers start shooting out from the end.
Is it possible to piss shit and come at the same time?
And so, welcome to the story of the
Oh, that's it? Okay. Oh, damn. That was terrifying. Oh, man. Imagine being in Ohio, man. That's... Ooh.
That's too much, man. It's too hot.
Yes, that's spooky
Yeah,
shit.
I know, right? Of course. First of all, welcome to Clearance on Creepy, to anybody who's heard. This is a podcast. This is a paranormal podcast where we're going to be talking about monsters, ghosts, all that kind of stuff. With me here is I've got Steve.
That's me.
And Jaden.
That is me. Thanks for having me on.
All right, yeah. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at ghost stories, monsters, all that kind of stuff. And the first episode is a really simple one, but it's also a really interesting one. And this is the Loveland Frog out of Loveland, Ohio. So it's an American-grown crypt. What was the groan?
I was a groan. I was like, oh, it's a frog.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a lovely frog.
Yeah, frogs are cool.
Yeah. So the Loveland Frog refers to a series of rather contested sightings that began around 1955 and up to 2016, actually, of a series of short king frogs, because they're about 4 feet tall, so they're manlet frogs.
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah.
Or kings.
And they're primarily known for the initial sighting where one of them had a rod in its hand and sparklers shot out of it.
That's one powerful
So when you
frog,
say
man.
rod,
Yes.
what do you mean by rod? Like
Literally like a Harry Potter style wand.
okay. Because when you said
Yeah.
rod, the first thing I was
Yeah.
like
The
I don't
the
know.
inanimate carbon rod from The Simpsons?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's what
mean,
I'm always
it's
thinking
kind of
about.
similar to that. It's kind of similar to that, right?
Okay. So it's a
Yeah.
manlet king frog.
Yes.
So there are 3 of them.
There were 3 of them, but only
Oh,
one of them
damn.
actually, responded back, right?
The other two
Right.
just were doing their own thing.
Yeah, the other 2
Yeah.
left them on red. Yeah.
yeah, of course. They were just a bunch of local youths up to no good.
To be fair, thinking
So-
about it, if I saw a 4 foot tall frog, I think I probably would shit myself. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, that would be pretty scary. Right.
So we oftentimes, when we're talking about cryptids, we often think of like the big ones like Bigfoot, the Jersey Devil, the Dover Demon.
The Jersey Devil, what?
Do you not know?
Yeah.
Oh, that one's pretty good.
No, I don't. Yeah, I mean, isn't the point of me being on here is I have absolutely no idea about cryptids, so it's funny that you explain like all the goober shit that's out
The
there.
reason I know about it is because when I was like 11, on children's television in England, they used to, at late nights, they used to put the spooky shows on certain channels. And I saw like a bunch of American teens searching for the Jersey Devil, and they got spooked in a forest. Spoilers, they didn't find anything, but it was just like they showed you what it was. And it's like, oh,
What a
very
twist.
spooky.
Yeah, you know, there's like, and then Tommy got the worst, scariest, you know, Tommy came across the scariest thing of all, rabies. You know,
They heard some rustlings in a tree, and they got really scared.
yes, a homeless man. Yeah, it's just a homeless man jacking off in the tree.
Yeah,
True, the
yeah.
spookiest.
That's
one.
the real Jersey Devil. Well, that's not cryptid. That's just regular Jersey citizen.
That's just poverty.
Yeah,
They call that the Jersey Special.
yeah.
Oh, interesting. The Loveland Frog was initially sighted in 1955 by a traveling salesman. I do not know their name. It was actually kind of difficult just trying to find out their name. There wasn't a reliable source on that. Sighted 3 frog creatures, or 3 frogs standing on their hind legs about 3 to 4 feet tall. One of them had a rod that shot sparklers out. The next... I love that you're just like chuckling every time that the detail is brought up.
So stupid.
I've really got to think
like
here,
the
though.
police officer taking this fucking, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, so there was a 4-foot figure. Okay. Sure, it wasn't a child. No, it was a frog. Okay.
It was a frog. Okay.
Okay,
You're
and they
just
had
like,
a
are-
rod.
You're just like, are you?
What
just
did
like,
you
sir, are
say
you saying-
came out of this rod?
What do you think they were doing?
Is this a slang term?
But
On frogs?
yeah, what were they doing at 3 a.m. at night with sparkler rods? Like, what do you think they were planning?
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, 3:30
In the
a.m.
town, you know?
Yeah. Maybe they were filming a 3 a.m. video.
That's true.
Damn.
In 1955, they were ahead of the curb.
Yeah, they were.
You think they had like
Yeah,
McCarthy
they're
eight
gonna
in the
call
meeting?
Freddy
Keeping 'em down,
Fazbear
you know,
at 3 a.m.
You know, McCarthy didn't like any foreign entities entering American soil. Imagine how he thought about fucking, was it the Leyland
Frogmen?
Frog?
Frogmen will
Loveland
rise
Frog.
again.
Loveland Frog. No, Leyland is the father from Twin Peaks.
Yeah. So the next frog sighting happened in August 21st, 1955, in Evansville, Indiana. So it was along the Ohio River. So we're not in Loveland anymore. So
Right.
Naomi Johnson, alongside her friend and her 3 children, they go swimming. God dang it. Naomi Johnson, she goes swimming with her children and her friends, and then she feels something tug along her leg and tries to pull her down. And she struggles. Eventually, she catches the inner tube and gets away from the creature's grasp, makes it to shore. So the medical officers, they come, they treat her, and what ends up happening is she notices a quote-unquote greenish handprint on her leg.
Oh shit!
Damn.
So it wasn't algae?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wasn't Shrek Gogurt?
No, it was a greenish handprint, okay?
Okay.
That's what she said. She said a
Okay.
greenish handprint.
Do
So-
frogs produce, like, I don't know, green mucus? On
No, I don't
hands
know
when they
anything
leave, when
about-
they
I don't-
imprint on things?
Maybe
I don't
you
know
step on
anything
it?
about frogs.
Yeah.
Can you imagine this woman just steps on like this poor frog in the
Yeah.
middle of like the river, and then she's like, "Oh my,
Oh
oh my god!"
Yeah.
It's the
Some-
handprint.
something.
The frog is after me.
That
Something
frog was
got
just trying
me.
to save itself. She was like crushing it.
Yeah. Self-defense frog, you know?
It's funny because we don't actually get another sighting, or we don't get anything that's sort of part of the Loveland Frog or the Frogmen like canon lore. God damn it! I'm trying to tell a deep and
Yeah, well,
welling
you can't tell a
cultural
deep and compelling story that contains the phrase "the frogman law," the frogman canon law. Like, come on.
All right, okay.
It's pretty important, you know?
Look, all right. It's a riveting tale. Oh.
It's a riveting tale. I like it.
You got you there.
So we don't really get sightings of like what would be considered part of like the Frogmen cinematic universe, right? Until 1972, when we are going back to Loveland, when Loveland police officer Ray Shockey is driving down Riverside Drive, and a creature jumps in front of his car. the headlights essentially reflect off of the. Are you just gasping on camera? I just hear.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in suspense.
Well, it's spooky.
Okay,
It's a frog in
okay,
front
I
of the car,
appreciate-
man. I don't know what I do.
That's true. Yeah. So, Shockey essentially the headlights hits the eyes of this frog as it reflects off the vehicle, and it's the exact same. You know, he sees what is effectively the exact same thing as the original 1955 sighting. You know, frog-like, 4 feet tall, no sparklers this time, but it's literally just a tall. It's a tall frog-like creature.
Mm-hmm.
The frogman, seeing this, runs off. The frog hops the guardrail and, just jumps into the river.
That makes sense.
So
It's a frog, so.
Yeah, but but the thing is, right, these things are like standing like upright on their hind legs.
Yeah.
So I just assume that he just like free hops the thing like a skateboarder.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's pretty
Well,
sick.
it's more like it's like a kangaroo, you know.
Yeah.
Cops you bring that up.
So the frogman leaves a couple of scratch marks in the rail, and that was it. A couple months later, a fellow Loveland officer, Mark Matthews, comes across a similarly strange creature where he does what every good cop does, and he just blasts the shit out of it. And so he takes
maneuver.
it. So Matthews, knowing that Shockey had mentioned that, essentially says, "Look, I caught a frogman," and it turns out it was just an iguana.
Well, an iguana or an iguana man? Because if it was just an
No,
iguana.
it was just an iguana.
Just
It
a,
was,
like a regular iguana. Okay.
Yeah, just a regular iguana.
Pretty big.
He's just like, look, I got the frogman.
Yeah.
So I think there's an implication here where he just flat up just kills this poor creature as
Yeah.
a joke to like mock his coworker.
What did the
Cops,
iguana
man.
do? The real fears in the American police system.
I have a theory here. Is it possible these frogmen's powers come from the sparklers, and that's why it ran away that other time? Because without it, it's completely
Oh,
powerless.
that's
it didn't
true,
have
maybe.
it didn't have its inanimate carbon
Okay.
rod to use the sparklers.
So it's like a Lord of the Rings and the elves thing where like
Yeah.
magic is waning
yeah,
and
yeah,
you
that's
know,
exactly
the
it,
frogmen
yeah.
are just slowly turning back into regular lizards.
To regular. You mean amphibians?
Yeah.
They're effectively sorcerers.
we
without their
we don't
orb.
even know if they're actually frogs, so you know
know what?
who knows.
Your story isn't putting together, Joe. I'm starting to doubt that
Oh, are
these
you-
frogmen never actually existed in the first place.
Are you
Hush your
telling me this this urban folklore cryptid thing may not possibly be either real or accurate?
I don't know. You know, it's just that there's too many holes in
Okay.
the story.
We wouldn't really get a lot of sightings about frogmen that have been really well recorded in the United States after the 1972 sightings, right? We had a few, for instance, sightings in 1985 with some dog-sized frog creatures, and then there was another that was in Italy in 1993,
Italy.
and then we also had
They're worldwide.
another one in
Holy crap!
Yeah, it's hey, they're everywhere.
I wonder why there's none in France.
You know why?
Say 'em. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I didn't look it up.
Yeah.
And then we had we had one in 1996 in Brazil, and then we had a doctor who claims to have done an examination in 2003.
Whoa.
So it's not particularly well documented, but the frogman oftentimes is considered part of sort of local Ohio urban folklore lore. Just like how, for instance, down south you might see a lot more information on, say, like goatmen, or when we're talking about, say, if you're looking it up in, say, Canada, Wendigos are like a lot more common. Going back to the Jersey Devil on the East Coast, that kind of thing, right?
The regional
Frogmen are
dialect.
effective. Yeah, it does have a sort of like very interesting cultural or a cultural consciousness. And for the most part, a lot of people didn't really pay too much attention to frogmen, or at least the veracity of it, until 2016, where the discussion and this conversation about frog creatures and frogmen actually came up again. Sam Jacobs and his girlfriend, they were playing Pokemon Go
Oh hell yeah!
around
Oh,
Lake
shit.
Isabella
They're
in
playing Pokemon?
Loveland, Ohio,
Yeah.
and they see a pair of eyes in the darkness. So let me show you guys a short
Before
video.
we do the screenshot, are we sure they weren't looking at their phones while this happened?
Yeah.
Look, okay, I don't know.
Was it actually just a Zubat the whole time?
Sam Jacobs did mention on Fox News that he was not talking about Pokemon Go. So when he said, I saw a frog creature, no, not in the game, it was actually in real life. So
Can't think of any frog. I can't think of frog Pokemon. I know there has to be some, because
there's Politoed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's the whole Poliwag line.
Yeah, are they frogs? They're just tadpoles that then become things.
That punch
Yeah.
you.
Well, Politoed is like an actual frog, right?
Oh, okay.
He looks, and I think there's another frog Pokemon. I don't remember what it is, but there's another one, I think.
Is Pikachu a frog Pokemon?
I don't know. I mean,
pretty sure it's a rat.
Yeah.
It's a really big rat.
A big rat, yeah.
I'm going to leave it in the show notes, but for anybody who sees this, this one of the stories on the sidebar is Kenton County's first bestiality case charges child porn investigation.
Holy shit.
What an insane proposition. All right, so
I'm
let me
glad
show
to see
you
you've got the
guys.
best sources in this.
That's true.
Yeah.
So here is the footage of the Loveland Frog.
Okay. That just looks like a frog. Why do I make it spooky? It's not even a man-sized frog. That's just a frog.
Yeah. But it was a huge frog. So according to Jacobs, he said, we saw a huge frog near the water. Not in the game, Pokemon Go. This was an actual giant frog. I took a couple of pictures and a video because I'd never seen one that big. Then the thing stood up and walked on its hind legs. All right.
Fuck off.
All right, I think.
Are you saying you do not believe Jacobs' claim? Do you not see the video footage?
I did see the video.
I saw some.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest,
It
guys.
looked like somebody with like 2 fucking flashlights being like, "Woo!"
Oh, okay.
I saw that footage, but I think it froze, so I don't know what I saw. The 3 a.m. ghost got into my computer.
It's yeah. No, it's the FBI. The CIA don't want you to know. They can't let the Brits know.
Yeah, it's too much for us. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I've seen some frogs in my time, but none of them had glowy eyes. So I don't know if this is like an Ohio thing.
People talk about the lizard people. Maybe it's actually the amphibian people who are controlling the entire New World Order.
Okay, well, I don't know if amphibian people are appreciably different from frogmen.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that frogmen seems to be a gender term.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're the frog ladies,
Yeah.
Would there be like a cryptid like Tinder, like a cryptid dating app?
I think it's in Hotel Transylvania.
Cryptids dating, or people who are into cryptids dating?
Yeah, and they
Wait, what do you mean? Because you said cryptid dating app, and so
no, I mean not a dating app for people who are into cryptids, dating app for cryptids themselves.
Okay,
like a Wendigo's got to get lonely,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Loch Ness has got to show its cockness, right?
Exactly. Well, what do you think that picture was of? It was just funny, It's the world's first dick pic.
Showing it proud.
Yeah, just sliding out of the water.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious. It's like all its friends. All its friends are down below. It's like, hey, look at these humans. It'll be hilarious. Just pop its cock out of the water and that's it. And it came back. It's like, dude, I can't believe you did that. Oh my god, what?
Funniest part is knowing they have to develop that photo. So they have to spend like hours in the lab.
I have seen people unironically like break down like Bigfoot footage and be like, "Is that his dick? Is that the Bigfoot dick?"
Hell yeah.
And,
well, that would be the thing, right?
We got an estimate.
Of all creatures, right, or at least of all mammals, right? Humans have the largest proportional dick, right?
That's why they're king.
Even like giant like silverback gorillas, right? Their dick is comparatively tiny, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, would Bigfoot carry that same conservation, or would it just be like, nah, man, he's just packing schmeat down there? There's a reason they call him Bigfoot, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, so before you guys get incredulous at this section of the podcast, all right?
At this section of the podcast.
Let's talk about the reasons against and for frogmen's existence.
Okay. So
Okay.
I'm curious.
All
So
right,
this is-
I'm trying to
I've-
defend the honor of the good
I've got a
people of
genuine
The
question
Ohio.
here,
good
but,
frogmen, yeah.
You know,
How
the good
big do
Loveland,
frogs
Ohio
get?
people. All right.
Yeah, how big
Okay.
do
How
frogs
big
get?
do
Yeah.
frogs actually get? Like real frogs?
Okay, so that actually brings up the first reason against it, right? Which is that it's probably a giant fucking lizard if like the sightings are like to be trusted at all. So the 1972 shooting by Matthews, he described it as a sickly iguana. So I thought, okay, well, how big can an iguana grow? They can grow up to about like 3 to 4 feet.
Oh,
Which
Okay.
is about the size
Okay.
that you're going to see for the the Loveland Frog.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a wrench in that, which is that like this is the full length of the iguana, so it is not the body. None of the descriptions of the Loveland Frog actually mention, say, for instance, a tail.
Right.
For
yeah,
the
'cause-
most part, yeah, it seems to be for the most part a humanoid figure with grooves and webbed fingers and toes, and it's essentially a frog walking on its hind legs. So there's no mention of tail. So we have to assume that the 4 feet to 3 or 4 feet height is the actual height without its tail. So in that case, iguanas are possible, but they don't necessarily match up with the sort of height and physicality of the frog itself.
Wait, can I ask something, right?
Yeah.
This might sound like a stupid question in a podcast. I almost said a frogcast. A podcast talking about
This is a
fucking
frogcast,
Loveland
yes.
Frog. Yeah, frogcast, yeah.
Yeah,
So the frogmen were naked, right, in all the sightings.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, because I think maybe just because you mentioned the Harry Potter one, but this whole time I've been like picturing
think
them in
like
like
the
robes.
They've just been in
I
robes.
also
They've
think
just
yeah,
been in-
yeah, like
robes.
hooded robes and
yeah,
like
they just
I thought like the sparkler would go better with like a cloak.
exactly
Yeah, like-
right.
in a
Yeah,
cloak.
yeah, like one of the frogs has
Yeah.
like a tonsure.
yeah. It's like
All right, I have a
the
question
frog
too.
with no name, you know.
Yeah.
Has anyone considered that it could be a frog boy?
That's true. Maybe
That's
yeah.
true.
Like it's
Have
3
we
or
not
4
considered
feet.
the-
That's
Yeah, the element here that this could be a frog-like boy, opposed
Yeah.
to
Wait,
a
like
frog-like
like
man.
a frog like you said a frog like boy like
Yes.
like a human who's been so thoroughly deformed he looks like a frog.
Yes,
oh, they don't. My dogs don't like that.
they're freaking out.
They're like, you're getting too close to cover, man. Yeah, well, I know. I was thinking, yeah, what if it was just an immature, wasn't like the theory that the shut up. Wait,
I thought my animal was the
Stop.
one taking it.
hey? All right.
They're trying to warn you about the frog
boy.
boy.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
frog boys. It's okay, man. Shh.
Okay.
Anyway, no, yeah, the maybe they are immature frogmen because the theory that the Cloverfield monster is actually just a baby that's like scared and the real
okay.
Cloverfield monsters are 10 million planets tall or some shit.
Whoa.
Okay.
Maybe the actual frogmen are all like terraformers, cockroaches. They're like 8 feet tall and shredded.
Oh, that yeah.
How big's the
They just
dick,
become
though?
real racist caricatures.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the important question.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, look, at the end of the day, okay, I'm a scientist, okay? And I can only go with what the evidence gives me.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, okay? I'm a cryptozoologist, okay? So I can only go with what the evidence has thus been presented by, to me. And so far, there does not seem to have been within the overall corpus of frogmen lore in Ohio, okay, that we have not yet seen a fully adult frogman to compare to what we believe to be the frogmen here.
It's interesting because in one of these sightings it's underwater. So are we under the impression that these things do actually live underwater most of the time, like deep within Ohio waves?
Yeah, but under the Great Lakes, yeah.
The sightings were in Lake Isabella. So theoretically, this is one of those things where if you want to definitively prove the existence of frogmen, you can probably pretty easily just destroy the entire biome and be all like, look,
true.
we've proven it. There is no
True.
frogmen here.
Why isn't the government getting up on this, man?
They
That's
don't
true.
want you
Why
to
are
know.
they not
Because
No.
that tells you everything you need to know. Yeah.
definitively?
Why are
Tells
they
you
not
everything you need
wasting
to
the
know. These
tax
guys are real.
Like the taxpayers'
And
dollars
then
on this.
I'm telling
Yes.
you, the amphibian have taken over the U.S. government.
They've pulled out of Afghanistan. Those soldiers have to go somewhere.
I'm seriously thinking. I mean, the last sighting was in
Yeah.
2016. I'm surprised Trump didn't talk about this on the pedestal. This
Yeah.
seems like something he'd be
Yeah.
interested in.
True. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, it shows, man. The reason why his hair looks so fake is it was a wig, and he was an amphibian.
Oh shit! Is this why
Okay, well that's a
Hillary Clinton
so-
was talking about
okay.
Pokemon go to the polls?
Exactly. It all comes full circle.
Oh my god, I can't believe.
Okay, now I'm getting actually scared.
Oh, okay. So the second point as to why frogmen may not exist.
Yeah.
So you might find this crazy. But the sparkler, which is oftentimes considered an essential or a quintessential element of the Loveland Frog lore,
Oh, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably
yeah.
my favorite part. Yeah.
Yeah.
has only been cited in the original 1955 sighting.
Yeah.
Subsequent sightings, for instance, the one with Naomi Johnson in 1955, and then the ones in 1972 with Matthews and Shockey, and then the ones with the boys in 1985, they do not mention a sparkler.
Yeah.
So the sparkler is really the only ones there. And so the reason why it's important is because this is not necessarily replicated, it sort of brings into question the veracity of the sort of the sighting itself. And so what I mean by that is that, now I'm not saying like, oh, maybe he didn't actually see a frogman after all.
That'd just be ludicrous. Yeah.
An easy example is when we talk about like say Mothman sightings, a lot of people will oftentimes acknowledge that they might not have seen Mothman, or people might not have seen Mothman, but they probably saw something, like a sandhill crane or something.
Yeah.
The consistency by which people within a particular community or within a group who will say, I saw, a frogman with sparklers coming out of its, coming out of a wand or something, may not necessarily be exactly a frogman with sparklers coming out of its wand, but it might be something.
I was gonna say, you're forgetting another possibility, Joe, which is
Okay.
you just lost it. Like,
Yeah, in the first sighting.
like he just lost the wand. He lost the inanimate carbon rod.
That's true. This is
we haven't seen it since.
like
This
you
is
said-
pre-Amazon,
Yeah.
so
That
he
one night.
can't get another
He
one.
got a replace. This shit was one of
Yeah.
a kind, and then when they was like, "Oh my god, my
Yeah,
wife's gonna
it's true.
kill me."
I mean,
Yeah,
where's
by
he
the
going to
time
get one from, though?
by the
He's not
time
gonna
he
buy
could
one
get
from
the one
fucking
back,
store, is
all
he?
the manufacturing has moved out of America and gone to China.
Yeah, yeah,
This is we're getting back to Trump.
yeah.
Oh, we're politics. We're Cryptid's politics podcast.
Exactly. I'm
What have I
telling you,
done?
the hashtag amphibian.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We need to make frogmen great
So-
again. I think that's what we really need to do.
Yeah, I'm surprised not a single one of you have like thrown up the, oh, but Joe, we have seen Frogman. Have you ever heard of Pepe?
Yeah,
Oh, too easy.
that's too easy.
Oh, yeah,
Also, I
yeah.
forgot about
Not real
Pepe,
life.
So. Yeah, exactly.
I've never seen Pepe in real life.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. You've been to McDonald's and seen the sad Pepe on the ground with all the like chips and nuggies falling everywhere as a shadow looms over him.
Oh, yeah. You zoom in on the 1955 setting, you just like, you can see actually on the ground chicken
Yeah.
nuggets.
Yeah, chicken nuggets, exactly.
Yeah, tendies.
That's, maybe that's it. Yeah, the magic wand with sparkles was actually just
Yeah.
like, I don't know, really really long chicken nugget or really
Oh, of
really long
course.
like
Big
French
fry.
fry. Yeah, it's a really long French fry. It was actually a
Yeah.
normal sized frog, and so the
big
fry
French
looked
fry.
proportionately like a wand when it was holding it.
Oh, it's like forced perspective from the Lord of the Rings. films.
Exactly. Yeah, the
You know?
dude. Maybe the
He
dude
was
fell
holding-
down on the ground, right?
Yeah, he
And
fell
when
down on
was
the ground, and there was a
he
perfectly
looked
placed
up.
French fry.
Yeah,
that just
yeah.
warped his sense of space and
Yeah,
like,
and when the
size.
dude was on the ground, right, and he was looking up, and like at the exact height and direction, and maybe he was like on the featureless, like it was so dark that it just looked completely featureless. The frog was actually right next to his eyes, but it just looked like he was far away and was really, really big.
Damn, so that's some movie magic shit.
Yeah,
Obviously,
exactly.
the-
Yeah.
Wait,
I
did
see.
he have a torch? Because maybe the torch like reflected off the fry at the right angle.
No, it's 1955. It's 1955. He's not from Skyrim.
Yeah. No, I think Steve meant as like a flashlight.
Oh,
Yeah, a torch.
oh,
Yeah, torch. Yeah.
Oh, no, okay, sorry.
Not like a.
No, I think that's UK, Australian English. I think.
Oh, okay. I just
Yeah. He's got old lantern.
I'm just imagining him with a club and a wick, like a flame. He's a traveling salesman with like a briefcase full of snake oil, and he's got
yeah.
goes
a Skyrim torch.
My wares
What's that?
are here for you, and only you.
And it's like, well, I guess that explains the wand.
Yeah.
My potions are too strong for you, Frogman.
Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, that's a good, interesting point, though. 1955. What was it? What kind of salesman was he?
This is actually another sort of point against the frogmen, right? Which is that the original 1955 sighting is actually very heavily debated because the person just never came forward. So we don't know who they are. It's very difficult to trace back exactly where this story originated from. It's very sort of urban folklore. And so I have read a few articles that suggest some people, but there's nothing that actually corroborates any of that.
Right.
So it's really, really difficult to pin it down. The first like actual sighting from somebody who has like, a name can be traced back, who does interviews about like what happened, is Naomi Johnson from August 21st, 1955. Like that's the first situation. But the thing is, her story doesn't actually match up with like the general frogman mythos.
Canon lore, yeah.
It could have been any kind of
like
amphibian creature that attacked her. We never
Exactly, yeah.
we don't know exactly how big the
since
the
when
thing
frogs
is
have
that
claws?
attacked her was. Look, okay, the frogmen
Yeah,
or
frogmen,
some
not
sort of
frogs,
frog-like
it's frogmen.
creature,
saw. Oh,
I
okay.
think it's fun. You're not getting it, Steve. The fundamental difference is
Yeah.
there's not
Do you-
frogs that they saw frogmen.
Do you have
yes,
claws?
Huh?
No,
Well,
but the
okay,
frogmen
look.
do, because I'm not a frogman.
Oh, okay.
Look, I can grow my nails out decently long enough, okay?
You got some sharp nails in under
Yeah,
water.
and you better watch out lines of cocaine, because, that's what they're, they'll
Those
crush them up
soggy
real good.
fingernails are really going to come. Yeah.
The 1955 sighting by Naomi Johnson is really the first one by somebody who's insistent and consistent about like, hey, this is actually something I saw, or this is something that happened to me. And it doesn't line up a lot with the original details from the 1955 setting by the salesman, right? The only thing that really corroborates the original sighting was the later 1972 sighting by Ray Shockey, because he also says that it's 3 to 4 feet, it's a frog on its hind legs walking around in the middle of the night, and I see it, when the headlights, hit the eyes. So, as a result, even as a sort of mythos or a corpus, it's very inconsistent. And so as it's very difficult to pin down exactly what defines, where do we start with Frogman or the Loveland Frog?
So it's pointless talking about. Because it's all,
well,
it's not
okay,
even,
first,
you're not even consistent with the bullshit, so it's like...
okay, God damn it. All right.
I've got a question here about the frogman. If it can
Yeah.
walk, why does it need to hop and at all? What makes it a frog?
Okay, so I don't know, okay, because I don't know the physiology of a frogman.
I'm assuming he leaped pretty high. I don't quite know how much he leaped in that story that I guess it was the 70s, right?
Yeah.
He leaped.
Well,
Was it high?
he just hopped the guardrail.
Was it just like a
Yeah, he
tiny-
said the
was it just
guardrail. It's,
parkour?
it's not a weird thing. A human could do that.
Yeah, a human can
but
hop the
humans
guardrail.
aren't 4 foot tall,
you know.
so I guess some of them are. I guess
Okay.
Yeah, children are.
yeah, it's a little bit more difficult for them to do that.
So another thing is that The Creature of the Black Lagoon came out in 1954.
Oh, I thought that might be it.
And then its subsequent sequel, Revenge of the Creature, came out in 1955, just a few months before the Naomi Johnson 1955 attack. Which, if anybody is not familiar with The Creature of the Black Lagoon, it is a frog-like man creature with
Amphibian
grooves
let's say,
that attacks people
Women
in the waters.
specifically.
Yeah.
Women specifically, yeah.
Although, there is one point. Creature of the Black Lagoon was not like a normal-sized man. Well, the size of a normal-sized man.
Okay.
wasn't
Well,
like 3
first
or
of all,
4 feet.
technically, she didn't say how big that thing that attacked her was.
It's true.
So it could have been a normal sized. It could have been man sized. Normal man sized.
Okay, but then all the other ones said 3 to 4 feet.
Okay, well, those are probably iguanas that unfortunately just got blasted away by cops.
Iguanas with sparklers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine if like some poor iguana and like some kid in like 1955 just stuck like a Roman candle on like his head or something, and the salesman's like, "Oh my god, that frogman has a wand."
Yeah.
I'm not a frog.
Like a poor iguana farmer who's like, "You keep killing my iguanas." I don't know what that accent is, but what he's doing in rural
Some
Ohio.
sad Italian man. Some sad Italian man with an iguana farm.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia.
That's why one of the sightings was from 1996 in Italy.
Yeah, there you go. Because he went back to Italy because he was so traumatized by what happened to him in Ohio, but then it kept happening there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, this poor Italian iguana farmer keeps losing his prized iguanas.
So sad.
Italian
it is also very
iguana
important
man.
to note that. It is also important to note that in an earlier interview, Naomi Johnson did apparently mention that she was influenced to like mention what happened to her, specifically because she had read about the Hopkinsville case, which, if anybody is unfamiliar, the Hopkinsville case is where a family sees a goblin in the middle of the woods. And if you are curious as to what it looks like, just imagine Sableye from Pokemon.
What the fuck's that?
Imagine Pikachu, but different.
Okay, that got me.
Yeah, less. Yeah, it's like
Is
Pikachu.
it like green Pikachu?
Yeah, it's
funny enough,
purple.
the character design for Sableye is literally just the Hopkinsville goblin. The last reason as to why the Loveland Frogman may not exist is
Outside of being the iguana man,
so the 2016 camera sighting, one, is obviously not definitive proof of really anything, and two, there is a really interesting blog post by Strange and Spooky World, which they note that looks suspiciously like a Wilson and Fisher solar frog lawn ornament.
Okay.
So, assuming
but it
that
turned
Jacob,
its head, so
well, that could simply just be nighttime distortion.
I know if it shows up on the camera and weird things show up on the camera, it's definitely supernatural.
That is true. Yes.
Like, have you ever seen a mysterious orb float past the camera? I mean,
I've only pondered
that's
orbs.
true.
I'm not quite sure.
Dude, did I tell you about Dude, did I tell you about that time I did that unboxing and then I caught an orb on camera?
no.
Like,
Oh,
it was
shit.
insane. So I was unboxing my grandfather's old war memorabilia, and the moment I blew the DOS off of it, dude, the camera caught like an orb.
That sounds like
Outrageous
it's not even
findings.
real.
Really spooky.
Yeah. Wait, what? Okay. What are the reasons for the Loveland Frog? All right. So, number one, it's fucking sick, all right?
It's true.
Conceptually, it's hilarious. It's awesome. It's a giant frog standing on its hind legs shooting sparklers. Like some sort of a gooky teen, it's
As long as it has
dude,
a
it's
cloak,
a cool ass shit.
because like
Yeah.
the cloak really,
Yeah,
the
it
cloak
needs
really
the
sells
cloak.
it to me.
Yeah.
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 I can't really believe about the cloak.
There is a possibility that they saw something. It doesn't have to be a frogman, but they might have seen something. I tend to personally give a little bit more credence to the veracity of a sighting, not to the veracity of the contents of a sighting, but the fact that somebody saw something, especially if the details are really dumb. Because oftentimes, people don't explicitly try and make up really dumb details.
Yeah, like
So
if people
it's-
wanted to believe him, they probably wouldn't,
Yeah,
if they wanted to make up a story that sounded... Yeah, if they wanted to make up a story that people believed, they wouldn't have included the fucking inanimate carbon rod French fry that produces
Yeah.
sparkles.
And which,
What did the frog do when
boils-
he produced sparkles? Was it like, presto? Or like, did it just like wave it around?
Yeah, it
and,
just
like,
did that, and
was
it
it
just
angry?
dipped.
It was like, check this shit out.
Yeah.
dude, that's fucking epic. That's just like he does like a backflip and
Yeah.
then runs off.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Which, once
Dabs.
again, really makes me worry that it might have been an iguana with a Roman candle like taped to its like.
Oh, poor
She's like, oh, that
fucking
iguana is not with us.
Nah.
Was it? It was dark. Was it
the
raining?
other?
Yeah. What was that,
I
dark
don't
and stormy?
know. I don't know the exact weather. So I can't say.
What was the humidity like?
I don't know. Nobody mentioned that.
I'm guessing it must have been a bit
Yeah,
stuffy.
see
if
that
it's
that
amphibian.
there's too many holes in the story. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, frogs only come out when it's kind of like wet, don't they? So it's like
Yeah. Well, yeah. What time?
but this
what
is
time
Frog-
of the
I'm
year
just saying
was it?
this is Frogman. Okay, the rules may not apply here.
That's true. Maybe
Okay.
the wand gives
Okay.
them the
Just
ability
like
to
how-
shield them from the dry.
damn.
Okay. The second reason is that Naomi Johnson, as far as I can find, Naomi Johnson, for all of the craziness about her situation and all of her interviews, she's actually been relatively consistent on the general flow of events. And she's never, as far as I could find, like, retracted her statements. I like to believe that something attacked her in the waters. It's possibly just algae or something. There is a really interesting article that I read about what might have actually attacked Naomi Johnson, and that was probably a garfish.
Ooh.
If anybody is unfamiliar with the garfish, they look horrifying.
Was it like a spooky
They're-
creature?
Yeah, they're just like fish, but they look metal as shit. There is something that is really interesting that I do want to mention, which is that Skeptoid. So Skeptoid's a podcast that sometimes talks about paranormal stuff. But they did actually cover the Loveland Frog incidents. And one of the things that they mention is that they were able to find what is likely a record for Ray Shockey, the 1972 cop who initially saw like the frog creatures. But then, with regards to the Mark Matthews, which is the cop that also saw it in 1972 and then shot and killed the iguana, they couldn't find anything about him. So it's interesting that the sort of like the debunking may have not actually happened, because it's very difficult to track down exactly where or who Mark Matthews is. Now, this is ultimately very, very minor in the grander discussion of frogmen.
Yeah, maybe they wrote his name wrong.
But
Yeah.
maybe, yeah. But it is an interesting little tidbit.
Yeah.
So yeah. And therein lies the brief tale of frogmen. So what do you guys think it is?
Well, it's real.
Maybe
All
it
right,
was
so
just-
there are three of us, so we can go real or not real.
Oh, it's real.
Okay.
It's real. You've convinced
I'm-
me. Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Okay.
looking at this picture of a garfish. They're really big. Like, what if it was just one of these?
Like every
A
time.
garf. Oh, or are you talking about like a garfish just walking on two hind legs
well,
yeah.
on the
hind
road?
legs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, it could be. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
Stranger
real.
things have happened.
Okay. I think it's.
Name
I
them.
also think it's.
Name the stranger things that have happened right now.
Okay.
Season 1, 2, 3.
You got me there. True. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was. I don't know. A crackhead, maybe. I don't fucking know. It was Ohio, right? There's some dude Ohio
Yes.
on opioids, you know.
Okay. Well, I don't think the opioid epidemic really hit Ohio yet.
I know. Well, you don't know.
You know,
Maybe
it
it
was
was
in
only
the
started to be talked about only a few years ago. Maybe it's been
Oh, I
going on
see.
since the dawn of time.
Ooh.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay, I see.
I gotcha. I see where you're going with that. I understand. What about you, Steve?
All right,
think
well,
it's
I'm
real?
thinking it was a frog boy. But, like, so
Yeah, true.
I'm pretty sure it was more of
Okay.
a boy who was a frog.
Yeah,
than
okay.
a frog
Yeah,
that
'cause
was a man.
it was just a boy who had froggish features.
Yeah, I feel like
Oh,
this
okay.
boy was very... Because, I don't know, who else is playing around with a fucking sparkler at 3 a.m. at night?
Yeah,
That's true.
But some boy
I believe in that.
with his
yeah.
friends.
Well, those kids are all, yeah.
This
down
is
my
the plot
street
to a
and
Stephen
always looking
King
out the
novel,
window.
right?
Yeah, yeah, right. No, the plot of a Stephen King novel. Well, that's the plot to a Stephen King adaptation. The plot to a Stephen King novel would be no, the frogmen are real and they're also like in cahoots with the toad people. You know,
Of course.
it's like yeah.
Yes.
And the adaptation comes along and it's like, well, what is this shit? Let's cut out all the goofy stuff.
Yeah, no kid orgies.
Yeah, no kid orgies, no giant space turtle that's controlling the universe.
Yeah.
What do you think, Joe?
Well, No, I don't think Frogman's real.
Oh. So you don't think it would Stand By Me but with frogs?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things, right, is that some of these sightings are in like February, so I do not see frogs.
Yeah.
Even cryptid frogs walking around the middle of winter.
That's what I was thinking, you know? It's like, depending on the time of year, you know, whether it was just like... Also, like, okay, if it was like the frogman sighting was in Indonesia, I'd be more likely to be like, oh, it's a big-ass fucking frog.
Oh, it's like, damn, that's a big frog. It's
That's a
like,
big fucking frog.
I do not believe it is frogman, but I do believe that's some sort of weird, gigantic Indonesian frog.
Yeah, but like Ohio in February? Nah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some pretty big frogs right now. They're pretty staunch.
I think the thing that's the most compelling evidence against frog people or frogmen or whatever, or the Loveland Frog, is just the fact that, like, not a single one of them that they've cited as frogs, like, tried to, like, just eat the people.
Yeah.
Because frogs will just go after you, whatever.
Yeah, and especially like a frog, like a human-sized frog would be like, you know,
Would be
frog
fucked.
might run away from a human because it's like, oh shit, that motherfucker's too big, but...
Yeah.
I've seen frogs take down things bigger than them.
So that pretty much summarizes the Loveland Frog. There's not too much about it. It's more of a general urban legend in the Ohio area, but there's not really too much about the Loveland Frog, unfortunately. It kind of just comes and goes, and as you can tell based upon the sightings and the times of the sightings, there's just not too much about it.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Well, we still talked about it for an hour.
Yeah, I know.
I'm really wishing for a revival. I really need that cloaked frogman to come back with the sparkler.
Yeah, and then
sure.
Hollywood can do a shitty fucking, you know...
Frogman.
Shitty... Frogman.
Frogman.
I saw him once in 1955.
So
yeah, they do like the draw speech with the guy on the blackboard.
Yeah.
You ever seen a frog's eyes?
I do want to mention that if anybody listening to this does have any sort of additional details that I might have missed that you think is relatively pertinent. Pertinent is the key word. Please do not be all like, yeah, you missed this like one sighting from like 1986 where some kid was just like, I don't know, jacking off in his dad's truck and he saw like a frog shape by the lake. You know, how did you not mention that one? It's just like, no, I need something more pertinent.
Yeah.
That
big frog
helps
kissing me in
shape
the lips.
the discussion. Yeah, Loveland Frog, you know.
I would be loving that frog,
but,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so next, the next episode is going to be talking specifically about, we're going to be going to the Pacific Northwest, and we are going to be talking about bat squatch.
Excuse me?
Half bat, half gorilla. Bat squatch.
This sounds like the best thing I've ever heard. I want this to be real.
Hell.
Yeah, so...
No, that's real. Calling it now, it's real.
I need to ask my uncle about this. My uncle is an expert in Sasquatches.
I was like, have you seen bat squatch?
Yeah.
If there is a particular cryptid that you would like for us to take a look at, to cover, talk about, please leave a comment, or I guess since this is also going to be put into podcast format, I'll leave an email address or something.
Can you send me like a smoke signal?
Just harass us on Twitter.
Yeah.
Can you send me like an obscure photo where it's like a blurry image of like the creature you want me to talk about?
It's like a picture of your mate and be like, can you talk about the fucking, I don't know. Yeah,
the hash-slinging slasher.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Can you talk about the cryptid Slender Man?
Oh, no, that's too scary.
Yeah.
That's too scary.
What about not so Slender Man?
Yeah. He's a bit portly. He's like, like chasing the kids. Like, whew.
It's like Chris Farley. So yeah, thank you everybody for listening. I'll figure out an outro or something.
Yeah. And remember, stay spooky.
Yes.
Creepy on clearance.
Wait, spooky's not even on We gotta say
Yeah,
stay
yeah.
creepy or something, because it's not even spooky's not even in our title.